Hi everyone, how is everybody out there doing? This is Ryan with Fight Game Analysis, and today we are going to be talking about the striking of Sugar Sean O'Malley. If you've been enjoying the content, please go ahead and like the video and also subscribe to the channel. It really means a lot to get your support. So Sugar Sean O'Malley, hot prospect in the UFC, came up on Dana White's Contender Series, had a few official fights now, and he's just setting the world on fire. Social media, people seem to love him. Hot young prospect, he's coming out. So after his last fight, he's in the post-fight interview, makes this huge statement. Hasn't gotten a lot of press, so to speak, but says he's got the best striking in the UFC. Bold. Admits right afterwards, he's like, hey, it may not seem like that. I know that's a bold statement, but I'm telling you, mark my words, I'm the best. So I say, wow, that is a bold statement. So I start to break it down a little bit, look at some of the past tape, and really see what we're talking about. So let's take a look at the package that Sean O'Malley brings to the table as far as when it comes to striking. Number one, before you even see anything, you just look at this guy before he even steps foot in the octagon, you say, man, he's long. Tall for the division, long. He's got a lot of reach. Now, if you know what you're doing when it comes to striking, that can absolutely be an advantage. And he does. Number two, as soon as he jumps in there, starts moving around, you can see right away he's light on his feet. He'll sit flat-footed and he'll plant when he wants to drop his shots, but generally speaking, man, he's got some spring in his step. He will bounce around. He's light on his feet. He can move very quickly, very easily, get to anywhere he wants in the octagon. That's huge. He also likes to switch stances a lot. He's an orthodox fighter. His money shot is his right hand. You can tell that's where his power is, but he has no problem effectively switching to southpaw. And when he's there, man, he's good. He can lead with the right hand. He can counter with it. He can shoot the left to the body. He's got good kicks from both sides. He effectively uses both stances really well. Add to that the feints. He uses so many feints. A lot of just subtle, quick movements with both his hands and his hips. Constantly keeps the opponent guessing. Constantly using little shifts and little movements along with switching the stances that just completely confuse a lot of guys. The movements that he's making and the things that he is doing aren't very outsized. They're not very flashy. They're not catching all the spotlight. But when you're in there standing across from him, it's just enough to make you keep your hands in your pockets and kind of have a little bit of wonder and guess as to what he's going to do. The next thing that he does that's really high level is his management of distance. He keeps the fight where he wants to keep it at. He's tall and he's long, and he knows how to keep guys at the end of his punches. He doesn't crowd his work. He doesn't get too close to guys because that gives them a better chance. He's tall, he's long for the division. He wants to keep you on the outside, and he knows how to do that. He's able to get full extension on all of his shots, and it allows him to stay out of the reach of a lot of guys when they try to come back with things. He's really well at that. A lot of people can't manage that gap well, and he does it at a very high level. Another thing that I've noticed about him that's unique is his versatility. A lot of guys can do something at a really high level. They've got this one thing, it's their money move, it's their ticket, it's their strategy. They go to it all the time and it works for them. O'Malley's got a lot of versatility when it comes to his striking. You look at his fight against Sukmathas. Sure, I'm butchering his name. He goes out there, he applies consistent, steady pressure. He's flat-footed, he's moving forward, he's cutting off the octagon to get his angles. Looks phenomenal doing it. Look at his last two fights against Quinones and Eddie Wineland. Complete opposite. He's bouncing around on the outside the whole time, working his angles by getting movement that way. That's two completely different fighting styles, and he fought both of them really well. That versatility is going to prove really effective as he continues to move up in competition, and he gets thrown a lot of new wrinkles in these guys' games when they're at this higher level. Now, what's his go-to? Everybody's got something. His go-to strike, his money shot. It's the right hand. We've all seen the highlights of him out there smoking guys with it, scorching them, looking like they need to get carried out in a stretcher. Oh, that right hand, the way he delivers it is so beautiful, right? And he can do everything that he wants to do with it. I've seen him back up and counter with it in short situations where he needs to come over the top. I've seen him work off of an angle and counter with it. You've seen him lead with it. Look at that shot against Eddie Wineland. Shoots a little fake uppercut coming forward and then comes right over the top with a straight right hand and smokes him. You've seen him use it in a traditional 1-2. He can do anything that he wants with that right hand. He delivers it multiple ways. And when he wants to, it's straight, it's compact, it's so smooth and so fast. He's got great speed with both his hands and his feet, and it just sets him up to really drop that. And it's a bomb, man. He gets guys out of there. He hurts them. He's got real power in that right hand, and that is absolutely his money shot. All that being said, that's actually not the secret. In my opinion, the secret sauce, the key to his success, is not the right hand. You can see that. That makes the SportsCenter highlights. Believe it or not, it's the footwork. It's the footwork. His footwork it's crafty. It's beautiful. He glides around the octagon and gets anywhere he wants. Because see, the thing is, you see the right hand drop, and that's the highlight. But the only reason he's able to drop that right hand on people the way that he is because he uses his footwork to put himself in the correct position. See, he understands angles beautifully. So whether he's backing up or moving forward, whether he's setting something up or whether he's countering, he puts himself at slight angles off of the center line that give him the beautiful path to deliver that right hand and just get somebody out of there. It's the footwork that really sets him apart from what you see of not only just most fighters, period, but especially most fighters his age. This guy's only 25 years old, and he's got a really mature striking game already. And he's patient, and he really understands things. He's got a finisher's instinct, but he doesn't rush. I love it. Super excited to see what he brings out in this next fight. Now, all that being said, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention at least one negative to his game. So I will say this. So far, I'm a little bit hesitant on his defense. I think he's got a little bit of a room there for improvement. He uses great footwork for defense. That's your first line of defense. Your first line of defense is footwork. A lot of people don't think that. They think keep your hands up and block. They think move your head. That's later on down the line. First one is footwork. Get yourself out of the pathway of trouble. Position yourself correctly to avoid damage. All of that starts with your feet. And he does that great. He knows how to back up. He knows how to work angles and get himself out of there when guys want to attack. He knows how to get in and out, close the gap really quickly, deliver his shots, and then back out. That's all footwork. That's awesome. But what he can use for a little bit of improvement is his upper body movement and keeping his hands up. Doesn't keep his hands up that well. Doesn't move his upper body that well. Either at the waist or his head. I've seen him get caught with a few clean shots. Quinones, I believe, caught him with one. Eddie Wineland caught him with just a clean, straight right hand. When he's working those angles, if he could just turn a little bit and position himself slightly, get that chin behind his shoulder. Bend at the waist a little bit and get underneath the shot because guys are going to be coming up for him. It's just a few things I'd like to see. I know I'm being a little picky when I say that. I mean, again, he's only 25 and his striking game is beautiful. But it's something I'll be keeping my eye on as he moves forward, just seeing how he continues to grow and develop. So again, if you've been enjoying the content, guys, please go ahead and like the video and also subscribe to the channel. And also, let me know what you think in the comments below. I mean, are you really excited to see what Sean O'Malley brings to the table? What do you think of his striking so far? How do you think he's been continuing to develop? And what do you think is next for him as far as his striking development? What do you think what trick is he going to bring out of the bag in this one and wow us all with?